So some of the immediate costs a company would face during a product recall would be costs affecting the operating profit. So this is loss of revenue, the cost of removing the product from the market, and the costs associated with removing the product from the market. At Control Risks, we break our costs of a crisis into 4 areas. The first area is financial losses, and this is equal to the tip of the iceberg, revenue loss, etc. But if you go below the waterline, there are 3 other areas of loss that we also consider. These 3 areas are non-direct operational losses, reputational losses, and people losses. Non-direct operational losses actually examine the cost of managing the crisis as a whole. So a crisis like a product recall will often involve a lot of time from senior management, and this can become really expensive. It also involves bringing in third parties, investigators, auditors, etc. And this cost can add up. If we look at the Siemens case, for example, the cost of managing their bribery and corruption scandal was $800 million. That's equivalent to the fine they received. And while that's not a product recall crisis, it does demonstrate how crises such as product recall can really cost a company. So the third area of loss that's often overlooked is reputational losses. If we take the Samsung case, for instance, in the days after the product recall, their share price fell by 8%. And while that share price has recovered, it could be expected that it would be 8% higher today had that event not occurred. So the fourth area of loss we look at is people loss. When a crisis occurs in a company, there can be an impact on the employees that work there. We can see a loss of productivity, a loss of key staff, and also there's training involved if the company needs to push out a new product. These losses can be substantial, and they should be considered when looking at the losses of a product recall. I don't think companies are really aware of the hidden costs associated with a product recall. They tend to focus on the immediate financial costs that affect their operating profit, and they're unaware of the other costs that they may face further down the line. They also are unaware of the external effects of a product recall and the impact that has on their reputation, and reputational damage can be very significant to a company. I think the most important tip for a company who may face a recall is to understand how to manage a crisis. If you have the ability to manage a crisis and contain it, the reputational damage to your company will be significantly less.